Now, Ronald, how are we doing, champion?
Great. I'm gonna get into it because of time.
Yeah.
What happened is that I've been studying this particular plant for about well over 40 years, right?
Yeah. Is it celery?
I
sorry to cut you.
Yeah, that's right. And I actually learned about it from the Bible because how often olive oil was mentioned.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And this is going to fascinate you. So what happened, as fate would have it, I was helping a Jewish lady about the same age, about in the 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and she wasn't well. So anyway, she was born in Israel, but she lives in England. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I said to her, look, I've got an olive tree, and in 7 years it's grown to 18 feet tall.
Wow.
She said, you're growing olive trees in your backyard in London? I said, yes. And I said, I've got two of them. One's 18 feet tall, one's 12 feet tall.
Wow.
And the 18 feet tall is full of minerals, and it's loaded with green leaves. And anyway, then I said to her, I said, next time to Israel, I've heard this comment, there's an olive tree in Israel that's 800 years old. 800 years old, right? And she said, okay, next time I go, so anyway, sure enough, she went there and she met up with all her cousins and nephews, and they went on a long trip by car, about 15 of them, and they ended up on the border with Lebanon, and there was this olive tree, and it was 15 to 16 feet wide.
Oh, wide! Wow.
Get that? 15 to 16 feet wide, and still bearing olives.
Yes.
And then when we start talking to locals who were quite knowledgeable, they said the tree's not 800 years old. The tree's 920 years old.
Whoa.
920 years old, right?
Whoa, this thing doesn't want to leave the earth.
No, and so she took a photo of the 15 people, including her, across the tree, and you could still see 1 or 2 feet of tree on both sides of the photo.
So 15 people
That's
side
how
by
wide it
side.
was.
15 people side by side, you know, and it still didn't match the width of the trunk of that tree.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
And it was a real black grey colour, you know, and remember 1 or 2 feet on either side of 15 people, still showing of that tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the ultimate was, when she came back, she bought this little container, and there had some olives in it, and she said those olives were picked from that 920 years old tree.
Wow.
I tell you what, I was like, I'm not eating this. This is sacred, right? so now the reason why this is so outstanding, what I'm going to say next, is that I've been a kindergartner for a long time, and I know for a fact, right, whether it's a peach tree, nectarine tree, a plum tree, whatever, they will last about 40 years, which is quite a long time, 40 years, right?
Okay.
But then the farmers know about the 35th year, some of the trees, many trees will desiccate, dry off, insects will bore into them, and so on and so on. So they'll last on average 35, 40 years, but so if you've got to prepare for the next orchard, right? Whereas with the olive tree, it will outlast you and your future generations, right?
Wow.
And I said to myself, that's interesting. So I started digging big time into olives, olive oil, and olive leaves. And I started seeing these sites, they're selling olive leaf extract or olive leaves dried for as much as 57 pounds. 57 pounds.
For a pack of olive leaves?
For a pack of olive leaves.
Wow.
57 pounds, right? And I said, hang on a minute. So I was able to find an olive tree for 20 pounds, a small olive tree about probably 18 inches high.
Yep.
And that's the size I started with. And that tree is now in the backyard. It was 18. It's now 18 feet tall.
Wow.
And the leaves are this gorgeous greenish color.
Amazing.
And so we regularly give our patients olive leaf packs from our garden.
So you take leaves from the. Sorry to cut you. You take leaves from the olive tree in little packs, and you give it to your clients.
Yes, from our own olive tree, and it's organic and it's fresh as anything, and those patients have come back to us and said their blood pressure reduced, their blood pressure reduced, the herpes, which is like sores, disappeared. The LDL cholesterol dropped. The blood pressure dropped. They slept better. And the like tummy upsets disappeared after 1 or 2 cups of olive leaf tea.
Wow.
And so on and so on.
Amazing.
Incredible benefit.
Wow.
And the reason why is this. You see, in the olive tree is one of the highest, what I call phenolic compounds. Phenolic. It's an extract unique to the olives, right? So the olive leaves and the olives are packed with what I call polyphenols, right?
Oh, we love those.
Now, polyphenols, right? So polyester, polyphenol. Poly means multiple, like metropolis, right? See, it means multiple, right? So polyphenol is a unique extract to the olive leaves, and you make tea with it. So we found the ideal combination if you get your own olive leaves or tree of 8 leaves in your teapot, 8 leaves, like just wash it, put in your teapot, boiling water for about 7 minutes, and you'll see this greenish liquid come out. Ooh. And then you put on your teapot, teaspoon of honey, and you sip that 3 times a day. Okay. So in essence, blood pressure drop, herpes, which can be a constant pain and break out in your faces. Herpes gone, blood pressure, like I said, drop. The heart palpitations disappear, sleep gets better. Bloating goes. Wow. Hot flushes when menopause goes, and on and on and on. So enormous benefits.
So just to highlight. So herpes, they could be like cold sores, isn't it?
And that's what they are. That's what they are. The common name is cold sores, but the actual medical name is herpes. Herpes. Yeah, a lot of people get herpes from kissing somebody else.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. That's what happened in the children's playground when I was growing up. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So what do you do? You give olive leaves tea.
So right? Marilia says, good morning. Julie says, I have 2 olive trees.
Fantastic.
Wow.
How tall are they?
Yeah, Julie, how tall are your olive trees? I've got 1 olive tree. It's doing very well. And I must say that through the winter, and even though there was neglect, it's still going strong.
Yes. Have you left it in a pot or have you planted it?
Yeah, it's in a pot. It's in a pot. Okay. And like during the winter, I even forgot to water it. And it was just the wind blew it on its side. But it's still going strong. It's still really strong. It's it can't be defeated, literally. And then I'm like, oh gosh, let me water you. And it's doing so well. It really says a lot about olives. Wow.
If you go to in the Bible, if you go to Leviticus 38, you'll see a lot of good information about the best foods to eat for longevity. It's amazing stuff, right? Wow. Leviticus 38.
Okay.
And if you look at the concordance, and you put olive oil or olive leaves or olive trees, there it is mentioned hundreds of times in the Bible. Olive.
Amazing.
So what eventually we will do, we'll end up. We have actually seen olives grow about after 3 years. The actual olives. The only problem is where we are. We've got a lot of squirrels. We're next to a park, and this thing's bitter. The olives are bitter. You got to treat them right. Yeah. And guess what? They jump off the fence. They climb up the olive tree. We had about 80 olives on this young tree, right? And these 2 squirrels, they ate every olive on that tree.
Within 30 minutes.
Within 30 minutes. And
wow.
So at first I was upset, and I said to myself, hang on a minute, there's a sign here.
Yeah.
If these squirrels are eating that olive as bitter as it is, right? I said, it must be good for them. And I tell you what, they were so alive, these squirrels.
Thanks to you guys and your olive tree.
Yeah. There was 2 of them. It was half an hour. We watched them to the patio. It was gone within half an hour. And I went, wow. So now for 1 olive, I'm going to put some sort of restraining around when the olives are coming.
Absolutely.
But the thing is that they won't eat the olive leaves, but they will eat the olive leaves. Right?
Okay.
So if you've got any major or minor problems like blood pressure, palpitation, not sleeping well, get yourself some olive leaves as fresh and organic as you can, and have 2 or 3 cups of olive leaves tea for at least 3 months. Okay. And I think you're going to be astonished at how well you feel.
This is crazy. While I say, because I'm playing the skeptic now, this is crazy because so many people go through so many things, and you know, but like nature, the back door of nature in our back door has so many things to help us, you know. And I invested in that olive tree, obviously being in the breakfast show, having you on the show, you know, and I invested in an olive tree, and I've got so many olive leaves there. Natural medicine. I just need to put it in some hot water. You know, Hugo's looking at me now. He's like, the olive tree, you know what I'm saying? And it was like just under 30 pounds. Yeah. And that thing keeps producing all these leaves.
What I find surprising, why would you pay 57 pounds for about 1 pound or half a kilo of olive leaves, which is dried?
That's right.
When you can buy a young olive tree for 20 pounds or 30 pounds, and within about 3 years that will grow to about 5 feet tall, and you can have, from that point on, you've got olive leaves for the rest of your life.
Do you know what I mean? You know? Like, why buy the apple when you can own the tree?
Exactly. Exactly.
Come, let's exactly. You know, stuff on the breakfast show. It just really just opens our minds. You know, the way that we think. You know. It really does. It really does.
But also, even if you've got a small place, if you go to Cruise Hill, you can buy half oak barrels, and they will last a long time. And they're quite big. They're about probably 2.5 feet wide, and they're about probably 18 inches high, right? And that sort of barrel, half oak, right, half barrel, costs about 50 pounds, right? True, but it's beautiful. And it's oak, so it's very, very resistant. That will give you 15 years of life for that olive tree. 15 years.
So if I get an oak barrel and transplant my olive tree into that,
I'd suggest that. Yeah, but the oak barrel, by the way, is very long lasting because some of it is like they put brandy in it or wine in it or some sort of alcohol. But they cut the barrel now when they finish. They cut the barrel in half. They sell it off. And as long as you put the tea with it, if you use oak barrel, you've got to put a bit of carton, put a few holes on the bottom, put a carton underneath, and then put really good compost, organic as much as you can.
Yep.
And then use remineralization, remin, which is a mineral product. You put that every 3 to 6 weeks. You put a handful around the olive tree, and that will keep the olive going for 15 to 30 years.
Okay.
Right? And it will go to at least 10 feet in that barrel. At least 10 feet.
Okay.
But I've got 2 olive trees in the actual garden.
Wow.
Right? And just to finish off on that, I was able to come up with a system which I learned from Australia, where I put about 3 feet of compost and leaves and wood around the trunk of the tree. And in winter, even when it's 0 degrees, that tree area is 12 degrees, right?
Okay.
So that you know what I'm saying? So because trees, animals, us will feel the cold, right?
Yeah.
So and the root system is the most damaged when you've got snow or frost, right?
Yeah.
So I'll come up with a system where I mounted like compost and leaves and bits of wood and everything else around the trunk of the olive tree, and the trunk is now about 8 inches wide.
Oh, wow.
8 inches after 7 years, right?
Wow.
And then there's the key. In winter, you put a thermometer in the compost around the tree. The way I do it, the temperature is a constant 12 degrees.
Wow.
12.
Amazing.
And I think that's what encourages the tree to grow so fast.
Amazing. Well, guys, look, if you didn't have olives or olive trees on your agenda this year, or you didn't even think about it, I think after this conversation with Ronald today, I would be running to the nearest store to pick one up. You know, I was in Costco and I got my one from Costco, and I think it was like £24.98.
Yep.
And it's still going. It's producing new leaves. It's so happy. Midjuli sent us a picture of our olive trees, but we've run out of time. But what we can do when we're closing now, we'll probably show some pictures of it, maybe. Or we'll definitely put it on our Facebook article when we upload everything for you to see. But like, I'm looking at the trees. The tree looks about 3 foot. Looks about 3 foot. Yeah, it looks about 3 foot. So, but the leaves are on there. The leaves are on there, and it looks really, really strong. It looks really, really good. Yep. Also, okay. Also, we have yes, and also we hopefully tomorrow what we'll do, we'll show the picture that Ariane sent us, the view from Taiwan. I look forward to showing that. But we're going to have to round up for today, guys. We're going to have to call it a day. Yeah, but Ronald, thank you so much for that today. Thank you. You've taught me how to heat my garden using a tree. Literally, you know, you go and buy these things, you put paraffin and all that stuff. Like, literally, just plant a tree, give it life, nurture it, and it's going to do something for you as well at the same time, let alone a host of other benefits. So yeah, and both of you were going to be online later this afternoon, right?
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. So you're going to be on your Facebook page?
Yes, Facebook page Planet Wellness at 1:30 p.m. UK time.
Excellent. So we're going to get some more nuggets. Petrina's going to actually post the link onto the Facebook. We'll also put a link to it on our Facebook update of the show today. So guys, stay in touch with them. Also on the YouTube channel, Planet Wellness as well. So much is going on with these two. And I want to thank you both for being with us this morning, Ronald and Petrina.
Pleasure.
You're welcome.
Pleasure.
Excellent. Connect online Monday to Friday with special guests for inspiration, motivation to start your morning right. Music, banter, fun and laughter. Connect when you start your mornings with The Breakfast Show. Only on libertyradio.co.uk. That's right, The Breakfast Show is back. libertyradio.co.uk from 6:30 a.m.